The history of Jackson Pollock and more important art. Jackson Pollock, one of the most influential artists of the 20th century. Throughout his career, Pollock revolutionized the art world with his unique style and innovative approach, breaking barriers and challenging traditional conventions. On this occasion, we will explore his fascinating career, from his first steps as an artist to becoming the leader of abstract expressionism. In addition, we will take a look at some of his most iconic works, analyzing his characteristic technique and the impact they had on contemporary art. Join us on this journey into the world of Jackson Pollock and discover the extraordinary story behind his groundbreaking creations. Jackson Pollock. Jackson Pollock was an American artist who became a key figure in the abstract expressionism movement in the 1950s. Pollock was born in Cody, Wyoming, in 1912, and grew up in a middle-class family in California. From an early age, Pollock showed a great interest in art and painting. In 1930, Pollock moved to New York to study art at the Art Students League. There, he studied with artists such as Thomas Hart Benton and David Alfaro Siqueiros, who taught him techniques such as enamel painting and the fresco technique. During this time, Pollock was also influenced by European artists such as Pablo Picasso and Joan Miro, whose work was on display in New York City. In the 1940s, Pollock began to develop his own style of painting. Instead of using a brush, he began applying paint directly to the canvas in a technique known as dripping. Pollock would fling paint onto the canvas, creating intricate patterns and unique textures. This technique allowed her to express his emotions and feelings in his work in a way that had never been seen before. In 1943, Pollock married the artist Lee Krasner, who became a major influence on his life and work. Krasner helped him overcome his alcoholism and encouraged him to continue experimenting with his dripping technique. Together, the two artists became important figures in the New York art scene. In the 1950s, Pollock became a world-renowned artist. In 1950, he had his first solo exhibition at the Betty Parsons Gallery in New York, and in 1951, he was included in the Venice Biennale. In 1956, Time magazine named him America's foremost painter. Unfortunately, Pollock's career was cut short by his untimely death in a car accident in 1956 at the age of 44. However, his legacy has continued to this day. Pollock's dripping technique has been imitated and emulated by many other artists, and his work has been the subject of numerous exhibitions and studies. In short, Jackson Pollock was an innovative and visionary artist who revolutionized the way people think about painting. His unique drip technique allowed him to express his emotions and feelings in a whole new way, and his work has been a source of inspiration for generations of artists. Number 4. Jackson Pollock's Number 4 Inches artwork is an abstract painting that has been hailed as one of the best and most influential works of abstract expressionism of the 1950s. The work is characterized by its unique drip and splatter technique, which is synonymous with Pollock's signature style. The work was created in 1950 and is part of a series of paintings that Pollock produced in the 1950s. Number 4 is a large painting measuring approximately 2.5 meters wide by 1.5 meters high and was painted with acrylic paint and enamel on canvas. The drip and splash technique that Pollock used in Number 4 was an innovative technique at the time. Rather than paint with a brush or palette knife, Pollock poured and spattered paint directly onto the canvas, creating a complex and dynamic composition of lines and smudges. Pollock's technique also allowed paint to move freely on the canvas, creating an effect of energy and movement that became a hallmark of abstract expressionism. The work itself is a mix of bright, contrasting colors that stretch in all directions. The color palette of Number 4 Inches includes shades of red, orange, yellow, blue, black and white, which combine in fascinating ways to create an effect of chaos and order at the same time. Colors merge and separate in a composition that seems to be in constant motion and change. The painting has been the subject of many interpretations over the years. Some critics suggest that the work reflects Pollock's emotional state at the time of its creation, while others suggest that the work is a reflection of the political and cultural state of the 1950s. Regardless of interpretation, what is certain is that Number 4 is a stunning work of art that has been hailed as one of the greatest works of abstract expressionism. Pollock's work, including Number 4, has influenced many subsequent artists and continues to be a source of inspiration and innovation for abstract painting. The drip and splash technique has been used in many different ways in modern painting and has been adapted by many contemporary artists to create their own unique style. In conclusion, Number 4 is an impressive work of art that has left an indelible mark on art history. His innovative technique and vibrant color palette have been admired and studied by generations of artists and art critics. The work continues to inspire artists today and is proof of Jackson Pollock's exceptional skill and talent. Convergence. Convergence is an iconic artwork created by American artist Jackson Pollock in 1952. Pollock is known for his dripping technique, in which he spontaneously and chaotically applied paint onto large, horizontal canvases. This technique became his trademark and one of the most distinctive features of the abstract expressionism movement. Convergence is a perfect example of Pollock's technique. The work measures 2.4 meters by 1.2 meters and is painted in oil on canvas. The painting is an explosion of color and movement, with lines, smears, and splashes overlapping and intertwining in vibrant chaos. What makes Convergence such a fascinating work of art is that there is no definite shape or figure in the work. Instead, Pollock uses lines and smudges to create a sense of depth and movement. The painting seems to have a life of its own, as if it is moving and changing before our eyes. It is interesting to note that Pollock never intended to create abstract works of art. In fact, his early works were more figurative. But as his drip technique evolved, he began to move away from the representation of concrete objects and to focus more on the creative process itself. For Pollock, the act of painting was a form of meditation and a means to explore his subconscious. Convergence is one of Pollock's most iconic works and is widely considered one of the greatest works of art of the 20th century. The painting has been exhibited in some of the most important museums in the world, including the Museum of Modern Art in New York and the Tate Modern in London. The work has also been the subject of many interpretations and analysis by art critics and scholars. In conclusion, Convergence is a stunning piece of art that represents Jackson Pollock's dripping technique at its finest. The painting is a testament to Pollock's free and experimental approach to art and his ability to create beauty out of chaos. The work remains a major influence on art history and a reminder of creativity and the power of the creative process. Number 17A. The artwork, Number 17A, is one of the most iconic creations of the famous American artist Jackson Pollock. Pollock is known for his style of abstract painting involving splatters, drips, and streams of paint on large canvases, making him a pioneer of the abstract expressionism movement. The piece in question was created in 1948 and is currently in the Museum of Modern Art in New York. The painting is characterized by its enormous size, measuring more than 2 meters in height and almost 5 meters in width. The work itself is a frenzy of shapes and colors, which spread across the entire surface of the canvas without a pre-established pattern. In the painting, Pollock uses a technique known as dripping, where drops of paint are dropped or thrown onto the canvas, creating an intricate web of lines and patterns that appear to flow and dance in space. The artwork's color palette is a mix of rich, vibrant hues, ranging from deep reds to bright yellows and deep blues. Although the colors are intense, Pollock manages to maintain the balance of the composition by maintaining a constant tension between the structure and the apparent lack of order. Upon closer examination of the work, layers of paint can be seen overlapping and sliding in different directions, creating a sense of depth and movement. The surface of the canvas also shows marks and traces of brush movements and paint spurts, adding a tactile and palpable element to the work. Importantly, the number 17A artwork was created at a key moment in Pollock's career, when he was in the process of honing his abstract painting style and at the height of his career. The piece is also considered one of the most influential works of the abstract expressionism movement, as it perfectly encapsulates the techniques and philosophy behind this artistic movement. In conclusion, Jackson Pollock's number 17A artwork is an impressive piece that has left an indelible mark on modern art history. Through his dripping technique, Pollock created work that is simultaneously vibrant, expressive, and emotionally impactful. The work is a testament to Pollock's talent and skill, and his importance within art history is undeniable. Number 1A. Jackson Pollock's number 1A artwork is an iconic piece in contemporary art history. It is a large-format abstract painting, created in 1948 with dripping and splattering techniques, which are characterized by the application of paint on the canvas through the projection of drops and jets of paint freely and without any kind of premeditation. The work measures 172.7 centimeters by 264.2 centimeters and is done in oil and enamel on canvas. It was one of the first works in which Pollock used this technique, and it is considered one of the most representative of his painting style. The title, number 1A, suggests that it is the first work in a series, but there is actually no evidence that a series of works related to it exists. What is known is that this painting was a milestone in Pollock's career, which led him to international success and fame. Number 1A is characterized by its energy and its movement. The dripping technique allows Pollock to create a sensation of fluidity and controlled chaos, which conveys the energy of the artist at the moment of creation. The combination of different colors, ranging from black and gray to red and yellow, creates a sense of depth and intensity in the work. Some critics have interpreted Pollock's work as a metaphor for the society and culture of the time, which was in a moment of profound transformation. The lack of a recognizable form in the work suggests a certain rebellion against conventional forms of art, and the dripping technique is considered a form of liberation and exploration of new possibilities in painting. In short, the work, number 1A, by Jackson Pollock is a key piece in the history of contemporary art. Its innovative technique, its energy and movement, as well as its symbolic nature, make it a work of art that continues to fascinate and surprise viewers around the world.